day. Today we are talking about the need for validation and why validation holds us back. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Claudine Ullman. I have spent the last 15 years as a actress, as a comedian, as a corporate trainer, really trying to use my skills and my passions for performance to make a living. And what I am doing now is I am getting into the world of entrepreneurship. So I've done it alone for so long, but I've never known how to be an entrepreneur. And this is my journey on entrepreneurship and learning how to run my empire like a business, because I've never known how to do that. I've known how to do the comedy, I've known how to put a comedy show on, but I've never ever really understood how to be an entrepreneur. And the reason why I'm going live and the whole point of this series is to inspire entrepreneurs out there, small business owners out there. If you are doing this thing blind, if you are the lead character or the front-facing person of your business and you've never studied entrepreneurship before, wow. Wow, let me tell you, if I only knew then what I know now, it would be a very different situation. But I believe in divine timing. It wasn't the time. I wasn't supposed to know what I wasn't supposed to know, and this is the right time. I've moved to London. I'm starting a new tribe in a new town. And I want you to join me on this journey where I am going from zero to £1 million through implementing techniques and tools, comedy tools that I've used with billion-dollar global brands in South Africa, and now I'm going global. I'm using those frameworks on me and I'm sharing those frameworks with you. So if you want to become part of the journey, join the tribe. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all the things you have to do to be part of the conversation, to ask the questions you need to ask. And together we are going on this journey of entrepreneurship together and using comedy to take our brands and our advertising and our content to the next level. So I want to talk about something which has held me back for so long. And it's obviously a past trauma of mine or something that I need to deal with on a soul level, because it's something that keeps coming up, which means it's something that I'm not learning from. And this is the need for validation. Now, for those of you who are performers or entertainers in an industry where you have to audition a lot, or the approval of others seems and feels pivotal to the sort of work that you're getting, it can be very easy to confuse this sort of need for validation with, oh, it's just part of the job. I need to get this role, or I need these people to like me, or I need to be in this group because my work's dependent on it. And what starts to happen is, if you don't get the roles, and if you don't become part of the group, and if you don't fit in, your entire identity is crushed, because you've built your identity on this group of people who are just trying to do their jobs and get on with their lives, and your need for approval is actually keeping you, and when I say your, mine too, I'm speaking to myself as I say this, and I'm explaining it to myself in my head, but the need for approval is keeping you small. is keeping you caged in, is keeping you locked in for a group. What if we don't know? What if we don't know the door that not getting this role is going to open for us? I want to talk about a major failure and or not even a major failure. And I want to talk about how I dealt with this need for approval, how I deal with it. One major failure that I had, and then I want to give you a framework which you can use to overcome this need for validation and overcome your fear of failure. So, I think it was 2015, 2016, Trevor Noah was coming to South Africa. He was coming back to South Africa, so a few years after he had left. He was coming back to shoot a series for Showmax where they chose 10 of the country's top newbie comedians to be chosen to do 15 minutes of comedy on television, and all of these newbie comedians would be highlighted. And I remember the list came out of who the newbie comedians were. And there were some people on that show who were great friends of mine, and I was extremely happy for. And it's amazing how you can feel happiness and just total bone-crushing non-acceptance and feeling left out at the exact same time, or feeling not part of the group at the exact same time, because I remember in that moment feeling completely broken that I wasn't chosen for this thing, feeling a need for validation from these people, a need to be included in the show, and feeling like this thing is going to define me in some way. This whole experience is going to define me. And maybe it's going to define me in a way that says, I'm not good enough and I can no longer do this. And I look back now in hindsight, after having a career in comedy where I've been most successful and gotten the most validation, and not even needed the validation to a point, when I've leaned into me, when I've leaned into my comedy, when I've leaned into my funny, and I look at the situation and I go, thank you, universe, thank you, God, that I was not actually chosen for this experience. Because when I look back on it, I was like, I wasn't ready. I hadn't found my voice. My need for validation was so strong that I was trying to get good at stand-up comedy instead of trying to get good at myself. So for those of you who are following the journey and joining the tribe, as I like to say, I want you to join me in focusing on getting good at you. What is it about you, about your skills, about your passions that makes you so good at you that no one can ignore you? And the beautiful thing about smushing that with upskilling and learning your own skills and learning how to do it yourself and be your own boss and manage yourself and go out there and become the CEO of your own brand. The beautiful thing about doing it that way is you're not reliant on other people for work. You are in a different way because you're selling in a different way, and but you're not sitting by the phone praying for a phone call and constantly in a space of feast and famine. So there was a framework that I got from one of my students who studied at Harvard, and I was like, if this is good enough for as an exercise for somebody who studies at Harvard, it is good enough for me, babes. And the framework that I learned and that I've implemented now, and that I still implement now, if I'm going through a failure, something that is causing me pain, something that is affecting my ego, something that is where I'm feeling a need for validation, a need to be accepted by this group or these people or an industry. I use this framework, and this is the framework I will be implementing every time into the future, because every time I need to in the future, because I have no idea what lies in store for me. I have no idea of the opportunity that will come from this door being turned down, and this person not accepting me, and this no. I have no idea the yes that lies beyond it. So let me focus on the yes and not on the no. When I first started off in this industry, I was rejected by one of the country's top agents, who told me I was too large to be in the industry. It wasn't the first time I had heard that I was too large. It wasn't the last time that I had heard that I was too large, but it was the last time that I would let anyone truly set me off for that amount of time into a whirlwind of feeling unworthy, knowing my path, not knowing my path, not feeling like I was good enough, not feeling like I belonged in an industry. As I say, we have no idea what lies beyond the no. And I look at even that agent's rejection and how it inspired me to identity shift and go on a journey to become really good at me and really good at my skills and really good at my comedy. I had no idea. And I'm so grateful that that happened. I'm so grateful that I experienced that. And I now look back, and this is the formula that I use, and this is the formula that I want you guys to use. I want you to, in the moment, as hard as it is, as difficult as it is, when someone didn't invite you to that thing, or you weren't accepted in that group, or you didn't get that job that you were so desperately wanting, I want you in the moment to take a deep breath and to just say, if I was fully whole and complete as a person in this moment, how would I react to the situation? And would I feel the rejection? Would I feel the not being good enough? And in that moment, I want you to make a decision to react differently. In the moment, or as close to the moment as you can, I want you to do 2 different exercises. I want you to build a portfolio of brilliance. And I want you to build a failure CV. Okay, so the framework that I follow is be in the moment. Let's come up with a cool 3 steps, because I didn't actually have a 3-step name to this formula, but let's come up with a 3-step formula. So the 3-step formula that I want to, that I am going to suggest is Be in the moment. Be grateful for the no, and bask in your brilliance. Yes! Be in the moment, be grateful for the no, and bask in your brilliance. And you're going to do that by building a portfolio of your brilliance and failure CV. Okay? So the way to be in the moment is to stop, to take a breath, and to say, if I was whole and complete in this moment, would I need the validation from these people? What is it that triggered me? What is it that hurt me? And if I was whole and complete, would I react in this way? And react from that place once you've had that thought, okay? Then you're going to be grateful for the no. The way you become grateful for the no is you build a failure CV. Now, I want you to build a CV that has every single failure you can date back for as long as you can remember. And on that failure CV, next to every single failure, I want you to write down the failure. I want you to write down the lesson learned and the door that it opened. And tell me, you do not leave that exercise completely grateful for every single no that is in your life. Okay? I then want you to build a portfolio of brilliance, which means you can bask in your brilliance. And I want you to put on there every single positive, beautiful review, every client you've worked with, every appearance you've had on a TV show, every time you have done something where you've been in creative flow and your heart was singing and you didn't need the validation of anybody. I want you to build that portfolio of brilliance, and I want you to follow that 3-step framework that we just came up with now. Well, we came up with the names of the 3 steps, but I've been using that framework. And I intend to use it moving forward because it's so easy for us to get caught up. It's so easy for us to fall into a world of, I don't look like her. I've had that for so long, of not feeling worthy in terms of my body and my weight and what I look like, and being in the entertainment industry and being in front of the camera and all of this. What a waste of my time. Not being able to stand in my brilliance and show my brilliance to the world. So I am going on this journey as an entrepreneur. I'm doing it myself. I want you to join me as I share these frameworks with you. I share what I'm going through as an entrepreneur, as a comedian, as a coach every single day, 5 days a week, let's say. And I want you to just implement these frameworks. I want you to like, share, and follow. Send this to somebody who needs to hear it. Send this to somebody who hasn't gotten a yes in a while and needs a yes. Because this will hopefully inspire them to give themselves a massive yes. So you've been amazing. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, do all the things. Hit the likes, hit the follows, hit the subscribe. Send me, put in the comments, let me know what resonated so I can make more content based on that. Other than that, angel doves, remember to stay hilarious.